Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us, Movable Type Exchange. My name is Nob Seki, President and CEO of Apart, the owner of Movable Type. I started working for Movable Type since 2003, so it's been almost 10 years with Movable Type. So I saw the Movable Type 1.2, 2.0, 2.1. So today we will have the Movable Type 6. So it's very pleasure to be here. Movable Type is started as a powerful blogging tool, but today it's more like a content management system powers thousands of websites worldwide. So today, I'd like to speak about the trend in online content, and okay, so some technical difficulties exist, by the way. So I'm going to speak about the trends in online content and the content management system in the future. These days, content is everywhere. This means you have access to content from everywhere. So imagine how many devices you have to get information from the internet. So how many of you use the more than 2 devices? Raise your hand. 3 devices? 4 devices? 5 devices? Still there. So there are so many the devices. Probably you have some smartphones, tablets, PCs, etc., right? So there are so many devices. So the content is accessed from so many devices. Also, the content is accessed from the many places. For instance, if you have the website, and if you have the analytics tools such as Google Analytics, and you will see so many, your content is accessed from so many countries. Like when I see my website, and the access is not only from the United States, Japan, China, the Middle Eastern countries. So it's so many countries. So the content is really accessed from everywhere. So the online marketing trend is changing so rapidly. So in 1990s, probably the only marketing tool was the traditional advertising, like the flashing banners or only a kind of advertising. But in the last 10 years, the blogging and social media are very popular right now. So the people cannot ignore the content generated by end users. So the user-generated content is really kind of very important for marketers to do marketing online. But social media is very difficult to control. So as many people do social media, especially companies really want to have the content which is under control. So the media such as owned media is a place for these people to do content, to have the content. So still, advertising is a big portion of the marketing, but we need to think of not just advertising, but earned media and owned media. So content is getting more and more important. So not only just advertising, but social media is becoming more and more with advertising. So imagine that, for instance, Facebook, today has so many sponsored updates in your social stream. So even though the social media is used by so many people, but the people having look at social media is getting more and more bothered by advertising. So you can guess when you see the social media, probably you will see the more advertising. So if you want to have the very controlled content without any disruption by advertising, probably you should have your either blog or your own media to state what really you want to say to the world. So in other words, content is very native and very engaging. So as content is getting more and more important, probably content management is also very important to people like marketers. So to handle the content which is accessed from the multiple devices, from many places, so content management system needs to have some features. The biggest one is better scalability, because as you have the more content, probably you have the more authors to the content, you have more places where content is hosted. So the scalability is number one thing. Number two, more stability. As your site is accessed by the many people, especially, for instance, your site is mentioned by very influential people on Twitter, for instance. Your site has a spike of traffic in a very short period of time. So if you don't have the site which is very scalable, then your opportunity is lost. Number third, increased security. As you know, there are so many incidents happening on the internet. There are so many sites, such as for instance, Sony's PlayStation site last year, hacked by hackers, and more than 10 million people's information was revealed. So not only just having scalability and stability, but the very high secured content management is needed as well. So scalability things, for instance, we have a customer in the United States who has more than 50,000 blogs contributed by more than 50,000 people on only 2 servers. So if you have the content system which is not scalable, and if you have the 50,000 people contributing to each site, then without scalability, you will be messed. So movable types architecture really allows users to help have such scalable websites. And also not only just handle blogs, number of authors, but if you have the content needed to modify slightly, for instance, if you have content which has a certain tag, and you want to need to replace some phrases with the new one, and without scalability, you will be pretty messed. You need to, go to the kind of each page. Like if each page, the number of pages more than 500 pages, you need to do the same thing for 500 times. So the system really needs to have a scalability. Number two, more stability. So Movable Type is very well known for the architecture, static publishing. So the good thing of the static publishing is very, very stable and scalable. For instance, this is a real chart, by the way. Movable Type is very good at handle all the sudden increase of traffic. And we have one example, a couple months ago in Tokyo. There's a website. So usually have the monthly page views of 47 million a month. But all of a sudden, the site had more than 11 million page views on a single day. So it's almost 10 times than usual. But Movable Type static publishing system really allowed them to handle all traffic without any expansion of the web servers. So it's very cost effective, especially for the kind of large scale system, as well as the very scalable to the any kind of spike of sudden traffic. And lastly, the security thing. Movable Type's architecture is designed to handle any user having the very unique permission. So if you want to have someone who has only access to the content, then such person cannot have access to template or any other things that can have executable codes, which means that if you have a junior engineer who are not so trained to see if the code is really kind of harmful or not, and if such designer or the junior engineer puts such potential harmful code into templates, the entire system is under the vulnerability. So this architecture really allows you to have the better sense of and the users who have permission to do only a certain thing, so that the system is more secure. So we have built such features and strengths built upon the Movable Type for most over 10 years. But this time I'm so glad to announce the new Movable Type, which has not only just the features I introduced, but more than that. So Movable Type 6 is a newly introduced version, and it's going to be released today, probably in a few hours. And there are some engineers over there, and they are doing last-minute thing to make it available on the internet. So you'll be seeing the Movable Type 6 online probably in a few hours. So the Movable Type 6 has had a beta testing period since this July. So it's been like 3 months, and there are quite a few people tested. And so it's now very bug-free. So that we are proud to make it available to the production servers. So if you want to have your blog or your website with the features I introduced please consider Movable Type 6. Movable Type 5 was introduced almost 4 years ago, so it's a major version up since 2009. But we are more committed to develop Movable Type than ever. So probably we will have the Movable Type 6.1, 6.2, probably 6.3 in a few months as is needed to release. So we are having a new offerings. Traditionally we have software, but we have not only software, but hosted service. Actually, the hosted service is powered by our cloud, and there are two guys there, Billy and Paul, and they will do some demos this afternoon to show you the highlights of the hosted version. We also are starting technical support in the United States. So in the last 2-3 years, we did not have the offshore technical support, but to show our commitment, we have not only Movable Type 6 in this market, but we have the hosted version and we have the technical support. And Movable Type 6 is available in 6 languages. So here in the States, and we have some partners in Japan, and some in Asian countries, and some in European countries. So we have some partners from Europe. Martin Shank is the kind of long-term friend, and he supported Movable Type 6, Movable Type in European countries for a long time. And we also have the Hirase-san and Kakuta-san from the Genova. Genova is the largest Japanese sales partner of Movable Type for almost 5-6 years. And they are actually having operations in the United States. So if you are interested in not only in the United States, but expansion to the Asian countries, probably they will help you to have content. With the new Movable Type, we also introduced a new Movable Type logo, which has some meaning, but I will tell you later. So as I said, content is accessed from everywhere, and content is accessed from the many devices, such as PC, smartphones, and tablets. But each device has a different user experience. So, for instance, the browser, pagination is still very common, especially after you search for something. But if you are familiar with smart devices such as smartphone, probably you are so accustomed to endless scrolling. So if you have the same content, but if the content is accessed from the different devices, presentation should be different. So to help the company have content that fit to the multiple devices, our new Movable Type 6 will be introduced with the new thing called API. So the new API is actually JavaScript based, so that you have the libraries and some code using JavaScript that helps each device get the same content in a different presentation, so that you can take full advantage of the devices or device features. And the final thing is not just a product or services, but Movable Type commitment to this market. 3 years ago, the Apart, who owns Movable Type, was withdrawn from this market. But since last year, we are committed to the United States market more and more. And today, we introduce some more activities or plans to show the commitment more. One is the co-marketing program. Co-marketing program is for partners and developers who have empty solutions. We do co-marketing on empty solution in this market. But not only just co-marketing, but we also have the program to help you financially, so that we pay for development and we do co-marketing with the revenue share scheme, so that if you don't have time or resources to create solutions before we really do marketing, then we can help you. We also plan to have some community incentives, such as competitions. Movable Type is a very established platform, but we really want to have more people engaging with Movable Type. So we plan to have competitions and some other, like hackathons or the solution competition to help developers to do some more. And such competition will be probably a monetary prize, so that the younger people may be interested. And lastly, we also plan to have a fund, and what we call it's MT fund. MT fund is like iFund for iOS developers, so that if you have some plan to develop Movable Type solutions, but you do not want to subsidized by us to locked in within the Movable Type, but we have funds so that you have the independent, you get independent money to invest in your solution for Movable Type and more. So there are 3 ways we plan to introduce this market. So if you have some interest in any of them, please contact us. So this logo is the design not just for the in many ways, but this logo stands for sustainability. This tripod means the ecosystem. Movable Type doesn't think that Movable Type can live alone. We really want to have partners and customers, working together to have a sustainable solutions. So so that especially customers feel very comfortable using the same platform for a longer time. So we have learned from what we did in the last 10 years, and this is the new step in this decade. Working with partners and customers is the future. Thank you for listening. Movable Type lives with you together for a longer time, and I really appreciate your help and understanding of Movable Type. Thank you for listening.